Well, good morning or good afternoon or good evening, whatever your time you're watching this. Um, Welcome to our meeting. Today's meeting is get back on track. I need to get back on track. I need so desperately to get back on track. I knew I was going to have a gain this week. I knew it. I didn't have a doubt. But you know what? I'm going to get back on track. That's my plan. I'm going to get back on track right away, starting today. I tried to start yesterday. I started off healthy, but I kind of failed the rest of the day. But anyway, I did gain 6.6. Not as bad as a few weeks ago when I gained 9.5, but 6.6 is still pretty bad. Pretty bad. But the one week when I did gain the following week I lost 7.8. So the way my body works is I can put on a lot of weight fast, but I can also take a lot of weight off. Not as fast, but I fast faster than normal. And I should I should show you. Not that, who's going to say I gained 6.6 and then lie about it? Of course, I could have gained a little bit more, but I didn't. Now I'm back up to 237.8, and my total loss is 66.4. So I'm down 10.6 to get back to where I was for my 77, because I was 77 pounds exactly. But as you can see, can't stop, won't stop, and you've got this. And then I got the little, stop! Because we can't keep going in that direction. I'm not getting back into the 40s. It was bad enough I'm back in the 30s playing that little jumping rope game between the 20s and the 30s, going back and forth, and I don't like playing that jump rope game. I remember when I was a lunch mother, and I was overweight, but not as overweight, but I was overweight, but I was much younger. And when we would go out on the playground with the kids at lunchtime, the one time they were playing double dutch, and they were they said, well, no, Mrs. K, they used to call me Mrs. C, but they used to say, Mrs. C, you can go over to just the single jump rope. And I go, heck no, I can double jump. And they looked at me like, oh my gosh, here's this old woman going to double jump. And I jumped in and I double jumped. Not for very long, but I did do a double jump. And then I did get out without falling. It would have been so embarrassing. They're like, oh yeah, look at, there's our lunch mother laying on the ground. But I used to play with the kids at the lunchtime, out on recess, and I always did the jump rope, and I always did the double dutch. I love the double dutch. I never could roller skate, though. We went roller skating. Well, I know I'm off track, but that's just who I am. We used to go once a month to roller skating. They had roller skating parties, and I've never roller skated in my life. I never, even when I was a child, roller skated. I used to ice skate, but I never roller skated. And I got on the skates, and I took out a whole row of kids that were all holding hands, and they were doing like a whip, and I was trying to get to the end to grab hold of the end of the whip. I knocked them all out. Boom, 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 like bowling pins. So I thought, no, you are not a skater. You may know how to double dutch, but you do not know how to roller skate. So I went over to the side and whatever. So anyway, that's enough of that story. We're back to this weight loss, or weight gain, of 6.6, and it's just no, I just have to get my mindset right. I'm going to get my mindset right, and what I have to do is get back on track. And the quote for today, which is so appropriate, was turn your setback into a comeback. It was a setback. There's not a doubt that was a setback, but I am going to turn it into a comeback, because it was just, I know that part of my problem was my turkey turned out, but it just didn't turn out on time. It was supposed to be done at 1 o'clock. We were supposed to eat at 1, and we didn't eat till after 2 because the turkey wasn't done. So the mashed potatoes were done, and everything else was done at 1 o'clock, but not that. So I have warming trays, but the food kind of just tastes left over, in my opinion. Everybody loved it. They ate even more because they were hungry. But I think I ate more than I was supposed to eat, that I planned on eating, not that I was supposed to eat, that I planned on eating. And that was another thing that they brought up, is that you have to, are you an emotional eater? I am an emotional eater, and I do think that I ate more because I was so upset about the turkey not being cooked. It was, I know, don't beat yourself up, Sandy. Leave it alone. It's, everybody still got to eat. There's people that didn't get a meal, all of that. I understand all of that. But I kind of pride myself on being able to, like, juggle and get everything and serve everything at the same time, it just kind of bothered me. And I do think I ate more. I had more desserts. I ate more while I was waiting for the turkey to get cooked. And so that brought it down to the question, or not so much the question, but the statement. It's not what you're eating, it's what's eating you. And what was eating me was the fact that I felt like such a failure. And I really wasn't a failure. I mean, all the food was good. Everything was done. I didn't take a chance that I was going to give them a turkey that wasn't cooked. You know, obviously I could have just sliced it and said, oh, it's good enough. No, I wanted to make sure it was at the proper temperature and that nobody was going to get sick from my meal. And everything was good. There was not one bit of leftover. There was a little bit of vegetables that we threw in the soup, but there was nothing. There was no turkey. There was no dressing. There was no potatoes. There was nothing left. Everything was eaten. But unfortunately, we had so many desserts. There was a lot of desserts left, and I did kind of pig out on that. And then yesterday, I started off trying to eat healthy, and it just went downhill. But I'm going to eat healthy today. And so that brings up what we're talking about at our meeting, which was kind of sad because usually at my meetings we have between 100 and 150 people. There's a lot of people that come to my meeting. Saturdays seem to be a popular day for people, and it's in a shopping mall, so people are going to go shopping. You know, like it's easy. It's by a lot of restaurants, so if you wanted to go out for breakfast afterwards. So it's like in an ideal location. And but usually, like I said, we have between 100 and 150 people, and I counted them today. We had 14 people. That was sad, because even when I went in, I said, well, am I early, or am I just one of the brave ones? And they go, you're one of the brave ones, because not very many. I thought maybe people wait and left, and she said, no, there's just not a very big turnout today. And I'm thinking, that's kind of silly, because it's not going to change the fact. I mean, you might lose it again for next week, and it won't show as much on your card, but you know that you gained, and whether you went to the meeting or not, you know that you gained. So we want to get back on track. And the first fact that they pointed out, and we all know is true, overeating happens. We can have the best of intentions not to overeat. And we can just say, well, I'm going to measure everything out and I'm going to stay on track. But then you nibble a little bit here and a little bit there, and you try this and you try that, and oh, there's your favorite pie, and oh, that's my cake, and oh, she makes the best stuffing. And you do tend to overeat. It's a fact, but it's okay. It's one day. It's one day that you went crazy. Now, I know that there's going to be a lot of days coming up in the next 5-6 weeks with Christmas coming. You're going to go to Christmas parties. You're going to do Christmas shopping, and while you're out, you're just going to grab something really quick. If you're in the mall, you're going to walk by the Cinnabon's place, and you're going to smell that cinnamon. Even if you walk by bakeries and stuff, I do think that they have some kind of like a fan that blows out the smells so that you smell it and you get enticed. And if you're tired and you're hungry and you're stressed, and you're going to eat. So you're going to make poor choices. But you just got to remember that it's just that one time that you made that poor choice. Don't be like I did and think, well, you know, you had the piece of pie and it was really good. Let's have another piece of pie. No, I tried to justify it in my mind, and it really wasn't worth justifying, because it's just, I shouldn't have had it. But one instance of overeating doesn't undo all the healthy habits that you've worked for and all the ones that you've created. Don't create a thought like, oh, well, I really messed up. I'm just going to wait until my next day I get weighed. No, unfortunately, mine was Saturday, which was just a day after Thanksgiving, but there's a lot of you that don't get weighed till Monday or Tuesday. That means that you've got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and then maybe Tuesday. So you got 4 or 5 days that you can really screw up. You got 4 or 5 days where you can really turn it around too. So you got to look at it in a positive way. And always think to yourself, you can always start again tomorrow. But don't just think that that's the only time you can start. You can always start at the very next meal. Don't wait until tomorrow. If you think that you've got a handle on it and you think, well, I just overate at this meal, but, you know, don't say, well, I've blown it for the day. I might as well just go crazy for the rest of the day. I'll wait till tomorrow. If you can get back on track the same day, right away, do it, because it'll make up for it. And don't ever think, well, I can make up for it by not eating very much the next day. I fall into that pattern that I think, well, you know, I just won't eat as much. I have a tendency not to eat a lot on Friday nights or Fridays during the day, because I know I'm going to get weighed on Saturday. That's not really healthy. I know it's not very healthy, but I do it. Just because I do it doesn't mean that it's right, because obviously I'm not like a, what do you call it? An expert on this. I'm really not an expert. Somebody that gained I don't even want to remember. Anybody that gains 6.6 pounds in 1 week is not an expert on losing weight. But I would say I'm an expert on knowing that I'm going to get back on track, and I'm not going to let it deter me. I'm not going to let it bother me. So we always want to remember, look ahead, don't look back, because The past is the past. You can learn from the past. You can always learn from the past. But you can't change the past. The only thing you can change is the present and sometimes maybe the future. Depending on how you react today is how you're going to change your future being. If you mess up today in the present, you still have the future to turn it around. Don't ever give up. I never plan on giving up. I know this is like a gross thought, and I'm old, and I know that. I'm hoping I have another good 20 years in me, at least 20 years. But then I look at Kirk Douglas is 102. He's been in a helicopter crash. He's had a heart attack. He's still kicking. He's still going. That's what I want to do, as long as I'm able to get around and move. But I want to be healthy in the meantime. But until I'm in that grave, I'm going to be eating healthy for the rest of my life. I'm not going to be going back continually in my old ways of eating. I'd be lying to myself if I said that I'm never going to go back to the way I used to eat, because I know I'm going to go back to the way I used to eat. And then I'm going to have a sharp slap in the face reality check that, Sandy, you can't go back to the way you used to eat, because if you do, you're going to gain all your weight back. Because that proves it that I went back to my old way of eating this past week and I gained 6 pounds, over 6 pounds. So I have to remember that every day for the rest of my life, this is going to be a fight that I'm going to have to fight. And it's a battle that I'm going to win. It's going to be a battle that sometimes I lose. Sometimes when you go to war, you don't win the very first time you go out to battle. It's very rare. You always have battle upon battle upon battle until you finally are triumphant. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to fight every battle as it comes along. And sometimes you eat more than you planned on eating. And it's just in the past. I ate more than I really wanted to eat, but it's not what I did on that day. It's what I'm going to do in the next coming days, the next coming weeks, the next coming months, the next coming years. It's how I'm going to change my way of thinking, stop beating myself up for the things in the past, and look forward to the future and just live in the present, because that's why you want. You want to live in the present. Don't think about the future self and like, oh, in the future when I'm at my perfect weight. No, think of right now. I may not be at my perfect weight, but I'm healthier than I was yesterday. I'm healthier than I'm going to be the day after that. I'm just going to keep getting healthier and healthier every single day because I'm going to make smart choices. And what you want to do is reflect and regroup after you've overate. So assess what led you to eat more than you planned. Well, mine was the stress over the turkey not being done. Not a big deal, but that was my stress. And what can I do differently next time? Don't use that turkey roaster. Put the turkey in the oven. Plan a little bit more. The turkey can always sit out for at least a half an hour before you have to slice it. Give yourself a little bit more time. Don't beat yourself up if something went wrong. And even though I felt full, I still was eating. Next time, just think, well, you know what? You didn't need to eat as much as you ate. Try to think of things a little bit differently. And look at the big picture. I still, even though I at one point lost 77 pounds, I still have lost 66 pounds. And that's quite an accomplishment. And this one I'm very proud of. And this one I'm going to keep doing, keep focusing on until the day I get to my perfect goal. And next time, what you want to do is think about how well you think you've been doing in the past, and don't stress on what you haven't done right. Think about what you're doing right now. And the next time you overeat, follow 3 steps to guide you to your course. The first thing you want to do is assess the situation, pick out what you're going to have at your next meal, and look at the big picture. My notes kind of got a little lost on me there. But anyway, hopefully I helped you out, because I think I helped myself up. I talked myself into it. So give this video a like. Please subscribe, leave a comment, and share. I'll see you guys on my daily vlog. Well, actually, this recipe for the pizza doesn't look too bad, because I do like garlic and I do like spinach. Not to say that I'm going to try it, but I always like to give you guys the opportunity to see if you might want to try it. But it does look pretty good. It's 7 points. How many pieces do you get though? Have to figure this out. Serving size is 1 slice. So that means the whole 10-inch pizza is 7 points if I'm reading that right. Oh, no, serve 6. Serve 6, so I don't know. 7 points for 1/6 of a 10-inch pizza doesn't seem like a very big pizza. I think I'd